Episode 1, Trigger Night. Part 1, The Pier of Shadows. Night fell without mercy. The rain cut through the city like static on an open wound, sharp, endless, cold. Scarlett Reed stood under the flickering streetlight, black leather coat clinging to her frame, hair slick with stormwater. In her eyes burned something the rain couldn't wash away: vengeance. Pier 19 loomed ahead, drowned in fog and neon. Cargo containers rose like tombstones. The police tape was gone now. No one guarded the place anymore. It had been a week since Carter died here, her husband, her anchor, her last reason to breathe. She stepped forward, boots echoing on wet steel. Every sound was memory. The air still smelled of cordite and gasoline. Somewhere in that scent, she could still taste his blood. She reached the old security gate, rusted, bent from the blast that killed him. She touched the burn marks on the wall. They were still warm in her mind. Her jaw tightened. The flash drive he died protecting was gone. But the men who took it weren't ghosts. A car door slammed in the distance. Headlights flared through the fog. Scarlett melted into shadow, fingers brushing the grip of her pistol. 3 men emerged, cheap suits, heavy guns, no hesitation. Mafia muscle. The first one spat onto the ground. "Check the pier," Boss said. The teacher might come sniffing. "Is not to." Scarlett smiled faintly. Right on time. The storm masked her steps. She moved low, fast, silent choreography of death. When the first man turned, she was already behind him. Her blade whispered across his throat. No scream, only gurgled rain. Gunfire erupted. The other 2 opened fire, bullets slicing through crates. Sparks painted the night. Scarlett dove behind a forklift, rolled, and returned fire. 2 rounds, 2 bodies hitting wet concrete. Her breathing stayed level. 3 down. More would come. Always more. She slipped into the warehouse, the same one Carter died in. The shattered glass still glittered like frozen lightning. Her flashlight cut through dust and silence. Footsteps echoed above metal stairs, creaking. She holstered her gun, drew a silenced submachine pistol from her coat. The familiar weight steadied her. She climbed. At the mezzanine, she saw them 5 men around a table. Blueprints, cash, weapons. Their laughter was the sound of rot. In the center of the table lay Carter's badge, cracked in half. Something inside her snapped. Scarlett stepped out of the dark, raised her weapon, and unleashed hell. The room exploded with sound. Shells rained down. Men fell. Furniture shattered. Blood sprayed the walls. She moved with ruthless precision, short bursts, no waste, every bullet a heartbeat. 1 man lunged at her with a crowbar. She caught his wrist, twisted, and drove his head into the steel rail. Another grabbed her from behind. She slammed the butt of her gun into his jaw, spun, and emptied the clip into his chest. Silence followed, broken only by the hiss of the rain through the roof. She stood among bodies, chest rising slow. Her eyes locked on the table again. Carter's badge glinted beneath the light. She reached for it with trembling fingers. Then she heard it: boots outside. Synchronized, deliberate. Not mafia, police. Her stomach turned cold. Scarlett ducked to the side window. Flashlights moved through the fog, voices sharp, tactical. "Suspect inside, move!" she cursed under her breath. The cops were supposed to investigate this place, not storm it. But the insignia on their sleeves told her everything. Internal affairs, but darker, cleaner uniforms, unmarked patches. Not real cops. The door blew inward. Grenades flashed white. Scarlett dove behind a column as smoke swallowed the room. Bullets screamed. She fired back blind, counting by rhythm: 1, 2, 3. Hit 1. Reload. Shift position. Move. A voice shouted through the haze. "Drop the weapon, Reed. You're under arrest for obstruction and homicide." She almost laughed. They killed Carter, framed her, and now they wanted her quiet. Scarlett yanked a metal pipe from the floor, jammed it into the fuse box beside her, and kicked the power on. Sparks burst everywhere. The lights above exploded in a rain of glass and electricity. The flash blinded the squad. She moved through chaos like smoke, taking them one by one, knife, gun, silence. When the last one fell, she tore off his radio. Target neutralized. A voice crackled through it. Recover the drive. Scarlett froze. They didn't know she'd heard. She pocketed the radio, grabbed a fallen rifle, and kicked open the back door. Outside, the dock stretched into darkness, the sea thrashing beneath. Helicopter lights swept across the water. She sprinted along the edge, wind slapping her face. A spotlight caught her for a heartbeat. Gunfire rained from above. She dove behind a container, bullets drilling holes inches from her head. She rolled out, took aim, fired upward, one perfect shot. The gunner's body slumped. The chopper banked sideways, spinning, then crashed into the far pier in a blossom of fire. The shockwave hit her like thunder. She staggered, heart pounding. Sirens wailed in the distance. Police, or something worse. Scarlett pressed her back against the container, eyes wild, breath steadying, blood soaked through her sleeve. She looked at her watch, midnight. The night Carter died. The same hour. Happy anniversary, she whispered. She limped toward the far end of the pier, past corpses, smoke, the sound of the storm devouring the city. Ahead, a cargo ship waited unmarked, engines humming. Someone was still here. She climbed the gangway, pistol raised. Inside, the ship's corridors glowed dim red, emergency lights flickering. Shadows moved. She followed them down into the hold. The scent of oil and blood filled the air. When she turned the corner, the truth stared back rows of crates filled with police-grade weapons. And there, at the far end, stood a man in a raincoat, cigarette glowing in the dark. Scarlett Reed, he said, voice calm. You should have stayed in the classroom. Andy, I called so. She froze. She knew that voice. Chief Vance, Carter's superior. You knew, she whispered. Vance shrugged. We all did. But Carter didn't play along. You know how that ends. Her pulse was fire. You murdered him. He smiled faintly. We cleaned the city. He was a stain. Scarlett fired. Vance moved faster than she expected, diving behind the container as bullets tore through steel. He fired back, sharp, trained, deadly. Sparks lit the corridor like a strobe. They circled each other, ghost and flame. Every shot a conversation, every breath a threat. Then click. Empty. They charged. Her fist connected with his jaw. His elbow smashed her ribs. She ducked, drove her knee into his chest, grabbed his gun, twisted his wrist until it cracked. He roared, slammed her into the wall. Pain blurred her vision, but her hand found the flare gun on the crate. She aimed at the fuel barrel beside him and pulled the trigger. The flare struck. Fire erupted. Vance fell back, engulfed in flames. Scarlett stumbled out, half-blind, lungs burning. The ship groaned under pressure. She leapt from the deck into the sea as the explosion tore it apart. Cold swallowed her. Fire rained above. When she surfaced, the ship was gone. Only smoke and debris remained. She dragged herself to the shore, coughing, trembling, but alive. In her fist, she still clutched Carter's broken badge. The city burned behind her. The night wasn't over. Scarlett Reed stood, soaked and shaking, eyes burning with something new resolve sharper than grief. The hunt had begun.